Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Biobío in Chile. I think you can see the I in Chile right there. A couple things before we get started. First of all, I'm very excited because Chile is one of my favorite countries to talk about. Every single inch of this country is absolutely stunning. It is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, in my opinion, and therefore I'm going to link my Chile playlist right up there. If you haven't seen any other of my Chile videos, because I've covered many regions in Chile, do yourself a favor and check that out after this one. You will love it, I guarantee it. I'm always excited to talk about Chile. Second of all, my wonderful map here is actually incorrect. So, the borders of Biobío used to go all the way up here. But in 2017, Biobío was split into two regions. So Biobío is still down here. And pretty much the division is right where the crease of my book is. How funny is that? And this area up here is called Ñuble, which we'll obviously talk about on a later date once we reach the ends. So just imagine that the border is about right here. I couldn't really draw it because the center of my book is right there. So just know that we're talking about this area right here. It's strange because this map came out in like 2021 and that division was in 2017, so I don't know why this map wasn't updated, but oh well. Let's talk about the geography here because there are three distinct zones in this very tiny region. First of all, we have the Pacific coastline, which is quite rocky, almost kind of mountainous. If Chile didn't have bigger mountains, I'd say it'd be very mountainous. The capital is along the coast here, Concepcion, and you can't see it because of the crease in my book. It's like right here. I think you can see the very tip of this peninsula right there. But that is the Tumbes Peninsula sticking out right there. It's Concepcion right there. Going more inland at about this region here, we have the Central Valley, the more farmland region. And you can see here a very familiar looking city, Los Angeles. Los Angeles. And we'll talk about why that looks so familiar, why that's the same name as a very large city much farther north up there. Then as we move more toward the border with Argentina, we hit the Andes Mountains. And there are beautiful national parks along here that we'll take a look at. I think I didn't write down the name of the one because it was on my map. And now I can't read it because I'm too far away, but it's Laja, I think. We'll look at it on, Laja. Right here. By this beautiful lake. With beautiful volcanoes all along here. But like I've been trying to say, we'll take a look at this region, of course, on Google Earth after we go over the history portion, along with the other regions and cities and things. Just like the rest of Chile, it's gorgeous. Every inch of this country is absolutely stunning. Absolutely. There are a lot of rivers that go through this region, but probably the most important you can see right here, the Biobío River, where this region gets its name, flowing out to sea there, the Biobío. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to tell you. No, I think the rest I can say in history, so let's get into it. Just south here is a region I've already covered, Araucanía. And the very distinct fact about Araucanía, it is that it is the heartland of the Mapuche people. The Mapuche are the indigenous people of this land and of Biobío, although, like I said, they're more further south, but they were around here. The Mapuche, very wonderful people, but they will pick a fight. They will come at you if you provoke them. And one of the people who did provoke them were the Inca. The Inca, much farther north, up in what's today Peru, and bordering northern Chile. The Inca, of course, very famously conquered large swaths of South America all the way up from Ecuador and heading down here into Chile. When they made it this far and crossed paths with the Mapuche put up a fight, and they actually beat the Inca. I'm pretty sure no other indigenous group can say that in South America, that they fought the Inca and won. So this area was kind of the border of the Inca Empire. They couldn't go any further because they couldn't beat these people. But then, of course, come along the Spanish. The Spanish land here in the mid-1500s. They established Concepcion in 1550, but it was not located here. It was about up here, right in the crease of my book. That's not infuriating at all. But yeah, more further up here. And it was the capital of the Kingdom of Chile from 1565 to 1573 until it was moved on to Santiago, which is just right there. Or I believe it was moved to Santiago at that point. It was eventually Santiago. It's the capital today. So Concepcion had a very rough time. Probably at least 10 to 20 times the city was destroyed. It was attacked by the Mapuche constantly, for one thing. They would burn it down. They'd build it back up. They'd come and burn it down. It was also destroyed by earthquakes and tsunamis multiple times. At least 6 earthquakes destroyed this city. So I'm sure that after a couple of tsunamis wiped them out, they moved more down here to where the Tumbes Peninsula is located to give them more of a shelter from those waves. At least that's what I imagine they would have done. The Mapuche still attacked it, by the way, but it remained permanently there. The city of Los Angeles was established in the year 1739, and that was during the Arauca War, when the Spanish were fighting the Mapuche. And who won? The Mapuche. The Spaniards drew a line. This was the frontier. This was basically what in America we'd call the Wild West, but I guess for Chile was the Wild South. This was the danger zone. If you crossed over here, the Mapuche would come and get you. So this was the fringes. So Los Angeles was established kind of as the buffer area between the Spanish land and the Mapuche land. In the 1700s, kind of the late 1700s, Spain started sending Chilean workers up to their other regions much farther north, including people from here went on to what at the time would have been called Alta California, which today we just call California in the United States. And they had those Chilean workers start the foundations for settlements, starting off as missions and then branching out into towns, eventually cities. And one of those cities, a worker probably named after their hometown, Los Angeles. But today in American English we call it Los Angeles. So that is why Los Angeles, California shares a name with a city in Chile. Isn't that so interesting? I think it's neat. I think that's cool. Concepcion is pretty important to Chilean history because on January 1st, 1818, Bernardo O'Higgins, the liberator, El Libertador of Chile, declared Chilean independence from the Spanish and thus kicking off Chile's war for independence against Spain. Chile, of course, would eventually gain its independence, but would not fully absorb the region of Biobío until the 1860s because of the Mapuche. It's like the Mapuche, they fought off the Incas, they fought off the Spanish, and now they're still fighting off the Chilean government. They've given in. Sure, you can have our land, but do you have our respect? No. So this land was eventually officially part of Chile in the 1860s. Pretty much the rest of the history of this region is marked by the various earthquakes that have occurred here. It is incredibly seismically active. So not only are the big old Andes Mountains here, the plate crashing together, it's also along the Pacific Ring of Fire, going all around the Pacific Ocean, creating all kinds of earthquakes and growing volcanoes and things. In 1960, Concepcion, or like near Concepcion, I think it was down here, I want to say, had an 8.1 earthquake, which of course devastated a lot of the region. However, that was just the pre-earthquake. That was the warm-up earthquake for the Valdivia earthquake. Valdivia is right down here. That occurred a day later. That was a 9.4 earthquake, the largest earthquake on record. There are probably larger earthquakes, maybe in like China, but the largest earthquake since the invention of like keeping track of earthquakes or the Richter scale or anything. 9.4, I can't imagine the largest earthquake that we know of in history that we can measure. And of course, very destructive. This area would have another earthquake in 2010 that was an 8.8, of course causing widespread damage. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Besides the split, you know. Earthquakes are, I guess, you know, I grew up in California. I grew up in one of those cities that was started by the Chileans here. Isn't that so interesting? But I've only ever felt one major earthquake in my life, the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989. I just can't imagine feeling something higher than a 7, much less an 8 or a 9. And it's not like it happens all the time. Surely they get tremors every day that you can't even feel, but holy moly, those are massive, massive earthquakes. So, you know, I'd always get comments of, how can you live in San Francisco? Don't they have earthquakes all the time? And the answer is no. And even if there is, because sometimes there would be, they were just whatever. I'd call them nature's foot massages. It's a little different when you every couple decades hit by an 8-pointer, you know. That's a little different. But it's not like people here are living in fear. In California, we talk about the big one all the time. They've had the big one. They had the big one in 1960. So that is good old Biobío. Oh, you know what else happened, though? In this week that I'm filming, it is the last week in February that I'm filming this. And I was going to film this 2 days ago, but I held off because Chile had a nationwide blackout that lasted for about 24 hours. And of course I had to check because I was scripting this video when I heard the news. And yeah, I saw Biobío region. It was entirely dark. No power in pretty much the entire country of Chile, which must have been absolutely terrifying. But as of me recording this, it's all back now. So everything's well. Hope all of my Chilean friends and viewers are doing well after such a terrifying day of no electricity. But I think that's all that I have for you for tonight. So why don't we hop over to Google Earth and look at this magnificent region on my tablet. Here we are in Biobío in Chile. Let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. So here's beautiful Chile going down the coast there. South America over here, you see Argentina, Chile's neighbor. Brazil over here, you can see all the states of Brazil divided up there. That's pretty neat. Peru, Bolivia, so on and so forth. Big old Pacific Ocean. And here is little Biobío. You know what? I just realized that I didn't check beforehand. I didn't realize these two islands are here. There's a couple up there too. Let's look at those first. I wonder if there's anything to see here. Isla Mocha. Yeah, I was reading about this. I know that like prisoners of war were sent here during the Spanish days, of course. Isla Mocha. Oh, nice lighthouse. It looks very windswept and pretty. Oh, some moo cows are right there. Nice little beach. A pupper. Yeah, oh, cool. That's a neat looking tree. This is very nice. I probably should have read more about this island. It didn't even cross my mind. Look how beautiful. All that green in the middle. Beautiful sandy beaches or rugged jungles. How lovely. That's pretty neat. Let's see what else we've got. This island. Anything up here? Isla Santa Maria. What shall we look at? It looks like it's very farmy, isn't it? Airstrips over there. Let's see, let's look at this. Piedra de los Lobos. Oh, it's very green. Oh, beautiful beach as well. Beautiful shoreline, I should say. That's lovely. Oh, lots of seagulls, of course. Gorgeous, gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, look how green this place is. It's like outrageously green. It's very windswept as well. Look at the dunes. Oh, no pictures. I do know a cool place to show you some dunes, though. Right here. Look at, you can see them from above. Dunas del, oh, it says Yani Dunas. Look at, looks like if you saw earlier this week that place I went to in Vietnam where it was just all sand. It looks like that, except you can see the ocean in these shots. It's all sand. Big old sand dunes. It's really pretty. You'd expect to see something like this in like northern Chile, Atacama region, but oh, essentially beautiful. I'm telling you, every inch of this country is just stunning. Climbing up the big hills, well, that's got to be rough with all that sand. Look at these waves, how lovely. Chile reminds me of California a lot. Alright, let's look over at Concepcion. Let me just, I don't think I looked at the slideshow for the town either, so I can just take a good overview. Busy, bustling city. Lots of important buildings and parks, lots of parks. Of course, beautiful churches. Everything a big city should have is here, including these things. Not sure what that's about. But if we go down here, we see the Plaza de la Independencia. And this was where Chilean independence was declared by Bernardo O'Higgins, the liberator of Chile, El Libertador, which will eventually get to a region called Libertador, which is named after him. Yes, here you can see this rock saying El Libertador, Bernardo O'Higgins, solemnemente la independencia de Chile. This was the spot where it all began for Chile. Pretty cool. We can see the Tumbes Peninsula up here. Do you see what I mean? It's more inland than The original town was over here, the Penco, which I was poking around Penco, and I saw at their park, I think it's this one. Yeah, look, it's Charles Darwin. I was like, why does that dude look just like Charles Darwin? And then I tried to read the plaque, and it is Charles Darwin. I guess he stopped by here, probably on the Beagle, having his Galapagos adventures, maybe. But let me zoom out. Beautiful peninsula. I can't remember. Some of these slideshows don't have pictures. Oh, this is a battleship that's docked there. What if we can see it from above? Yeah, the Huascar, Chilean Navy ironclad turret ship from 1865. That was used by the Peruvian Navy in the Battle of Pacocha, in the war. I can read the War of the Pacific. And there it lies forever. Let's look at this. Nope. Yeah, surprisingly, some of these slideshows don't have pictures, which is pretty unusual for Chile. I did find one up here. The Tumbes. Let's see, I think it was one of these. Oh, how pretty. Little dock there, beach. All the little fishing boats coming in. Very, very nice. I think maybe it was this beach. Oh my goodness, hello. Puppy enjoying the seashore. Very, very nice for pup. Isn't that gorgeous? Puppy thinks so too. How sweet. Alright, let's move on to Los Angeles. There it is. So you can see some of this central area. You can see it's much more rocky over here. Then it dips down into all of this lush green, right? Is this in? I don't think it is. I don't remember that one. No, that's in Araucanía. We may have already looked at that once upon a time. Los Angeles. This one, please. Thank you. Let's look at some pictures here. It is another little beautiful bustling city. Dinosaurs. Big old dino slide. Oh, we're gonna look at that in a second. No spoilers. Let's see, was there anything in town I wanted to show you? They have a nice little plaza area too. I think it was this one I really liked. Look at all the supermarkets it's showing me, my goodness. Pinto Square. Was this the one I was looking at? Maybe. Oh, I don't think so. I don't remember this beautiful. Looks like a church or maybe a chapel or something. A little farmer's market. Can't go wrong. Another wonderful pup. Maybe it was this park. No, because that looks really cool. Looks like they're playing futsal maybe. Interesting. Anyway. I want to show you that waterfall. See if I can remember where it is. It's up here somewhere. Yes, Salto de Laja. See this Highway 5? That is the Pan American Highway that goes from Alaska to the tip of South America with a brief break in Panama. Look at this. These waterfalls are so pretty. You can see them right here. To me, it looks like a very small Niagara Falls, but that doesn't mean these waterfalls are small. They're gigantic. But they look like that's a neat rock. Like a small Niagara Falls. I don't know how else to describe it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Catching the water. Ha, ha. That's a better picture. Ta-da. Waterfall. Let's see, where's a good picture of the two of them? Oh, rainbow. Let's see. Isn't it pretty? Here we go. See, like the two falls there? It looks like Niagara Falls to me. It's a gorgeous waterfall. Saltos de Laja. very, very pretty. All right, and then let's move over to the national park. Look at all the farmland. My goodness, probably growing wonderful wine and fruits and all kinds of bountiful things. But we're going to head over. Look how mountainous it's getting. Parque Nacional Laguna de la. Ta-da. Very, pretty, pretty, pretty. Let me just make sure that, yeah, because I saw one up there, but I guess it's just extending up there. But that's in our new region. All right, and then we're going to look at this mountain. Okay, I've got the right one. Back to this. Remember, if it's the color of blue Gatorade, it's a glacial lake. Oh, that's pretty too. All the way down. Beautiful, beautiful. Every corner of this country is just something else. There's nothing like it. I mean, there are a lot of places like it. You've got little bits of California, you've got bits of the Alps, you've got bits of like the Himalayas, you've got big old volcanoes. Like, Chile has everything, every outdoor adventure you could ever imagine. Here's the volcano. Sierra Veyuda, a massive Pleistocene stratovolcano. Immediately southwest of the Antuco volcano. Where's the Antuco volcano? Southwest. See how big this thing is on the 3D? Hold on. Look at that monster. Stratovolcano. Right. Immediately southwest of another volcano. Maybe it's another region. That's why I've never heard of it. Maybe it's up here. Anyway, look at all the farmland. And then you get into the Andes. It looks like a big old moraine right there. But it's just a big old valley. Look at that. How neat is that? This place is stunning. Anyway, volcano time. Look at this monster. Another gorgeous waterfall. Oh, all the little shrubs that you find in the Andes. Plants that you can only find in this mountain range. The world's longest mountain range, by the way. Or I should say the world's longest above water mountain range before someone comes at me with the mid-Atlantic ridge. Mountain ranges that we can see with our eyes without going in a submersible. My goodness. So pedantic. Beautiful. Find me an ugly picture of Chile. It's impossible. Every place here is stunning. Look at these mountains. Here's another one. Another big old friend. Volcan Kayaki. Look how gorgeous. Oh, look at this waterfall. Oh, I bet that I can see the rainbow. Because I'm about to say, but that's a really nice spray. And you can just stand right there and get all wet and cold in the best way. All these neat plants. So you've kind of got that South Africa thing going on, that there's just really strange plants in the Andes that you can only find there. Chile has everything. Every outdoor adventure you could possibly imagine you can find in Chile. Look at all the big trees. Little wildflowers growing between the rocks. Look at that mountain in the distance. Everything is gorgeous here. Oh, what is this? Look at this sunny friend. Amazing. Amazing stuff you find in Chile. I can't get enough of Chile. I want to just, like, surely there's a way to backpack, like, south to north or north to south through Chile. Some kind of adventure. I would love that very much. But I think that was all the things that I really wanted to show you. You know what I want to look at is in this big valley here. I want to see if there's like a slideshow of the town so we can see what it looks like. Let's look at Peluca. Up Antuco. Antuco. Let's look at Antuco while we end the video. Fun. Little tiny, tiny waterfall next to this big old cave. My goodness. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Now is a great time to do it because I'm about to take you on a fun adventure to a place in Africa that you may not have heard of. We're going to the capital of Equatorial Guinea. But did you know that the capital of Equatorial Guinea is not in mainland Africa? It is not in mainland Africa. So if you want to see where Equatorial Guinea keeps its capital city, you're going to have to subscribe so you won't miss out. If you enjoy... Oh, monument for the little explorers and burros and puppers. Cute. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm responding to every single comment I get, so I'd love to see what you'd have to say. I do hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good